Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. Proud to be the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Arleaf Childcare Insurance. Give Blake a call at 972-232-2258 to get a free quote on childcare business insurance today. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Welcome to episode 25 of the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
And as you're listening to this, we're enjoying our third and final week in Jamaica, thinking of all you back home. And I'm sure we're having a lot of fun. What do you think? Yeah,
definitely.
We spent 2.5 to 3 weeks in Jamaica every single January, where we rewind and reset. And as this podcast episode is being released, we're getting ready to leave and come back home. So we're probably sad, but we're also happy because we got a lot of things to accomplish in the year. But we're in week 4 of podcast. On our podcast, we're doing Couples Month. And all the couples in January and the first week of February are couples building their childcare businesses together. And we're excited about that. It's been a really good month. We've interviewed some really nice couples and who had varying degrees of working together. Some work together full-time, some work together part-time, but they all work on building their childcare businesses together.
Right. And it's not easy working so close with your spouse or business.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
partner.
harder for other people. It's probably really easy for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at first. It's gotten a lot easier. Because we think we got a lot older or a lot smarter, one or the other. Maybe we just gave up a little too soon. I don't know, but I think we figured it out, and we have a lot of we interviewed a lot of couples who have really done a good job figuring that out as well. And this is a great interview. So our guests on today's podcast are William and Vaudrien Ray from Charleston, South Carolina. They've got a large school down there, and they're actually looking to expand. So they recently joined Childcare Genius University, because that's what we specialize in, helping people expand and grow their business.
Let's get William and Vaudrien on the line.
Hey, William and Vaudrien, welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Doing very well.
Well, we are up here in Maine, as you know, and it is snowing outside. And I have a feeling it's not where you are. So where are you guys at right now?
Quite correct. We are actually enjoying 73-degree weather today. Yes. Nice and sunny.
in this recording this in January, so 73 in January. Is that normal for you guys?
No, not typically.
Typically, but some years, yes, we do have a little warm weather. Yes.
Now, you guys had a little cold spell at Christmas time, right? How cold did it get down there?
Very unusual. If the kids at the school are trying to get used to jackets or no jackets, they're in shorts today. It's been crazy.
It always strikes me as odd when in different parts of the country, like kids don't go outside. Like ours is 20 degrees, so we go outside if it's 20 degrees or higher. And I know a client in Alaska, if it's 0 or higher, they go. Wow. What's your cutoff? How cold do you don't go out?
Normally, somewhere around there, probably around 20-ish.
Oh, wow. You guys are brave.
But to be honest, if it was that cold, we probably would be closed.
Oh, really?
Because if there's ice or anything like that, they close quite often. The little ice on a bridge or things like that in our area, they will close. Yes. Yeah,
I suppose you probably don't have the sand crews. We can get 3 feet of snow at night, and then there's school in the morning. We've only closed twice in 22 years. Oh, and that was when the state closed roads. We never closed, because if we closed for snow, we'd always be closed.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
We'd never be open, and parents have to work. You just learn to drive in it. Everybody's got 4-wheel drives, and we all have studded tires, and we just learned it. It's different. It's cool to see how different parts of the country, but I kind of like yours better. Or snowing outside, you sit home. That would be great.
Oh, yes. If there are flurries outside, they're going to close.
Oh, that's awesome. So we want to get to know you a little bit better. So we're going to ask you some questions here.
So can you tell us about your school and how you got into the childcare business?
Absolutely. So we kind of fell into it. I used to work in the school district. I was a school psychologist, actually. And when I was pregnant with our third child, at that point, we had one in kindergarten, a preschooler, and then one on the way. And it just did not work for us. I commuted to my job, and we determined that it would be best for me to stay at home. So thank God I had a supportive husband, and I stayed home. And in the process of staying home, I had friends who knew I was home, and they asked and inquired. And before I knew it, I had 6 kids, and I had a little family in-home daycare. And the intention was always to go back to work, go back to the school district, and it didn't happen. I started developing a wait list, and word of mouth is powerful in our area. And with William's support.
And after they're tearing up our house.
Yes, and I was ready to leave our home. That is very true. They did. Yeah, we had to sit down and just kind of talk it through, and we didn't know if it would fail or succeed, and we just had faith. We're people of faith, and we went after it. And William found a spot for us in the community and started small again, maybe 6 out in the home, the 13 we started with, and we grew to about 65 before we did an expansion during COVID. And now we have 131 on our roster.
Awesome. Wow. And you're located in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mount Pleasant, more or less.
Mm-hmm. So when you started in your home, William, how long did you do that for?
I think we did it for 5 years in our home. And so just trying to have people in your home all the time can be trying. And have kids tear up your home, and you come home and you come to different surprises in your home. You know, you still have to live in your house and have people come and knock on your door at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're closed that one day. Yeah, they don't care. They want to come in and drop their kids off and run. And so I am tiring.
Totally with you there, William. When I found a bologna sandwich in my VCR, and so many people listening here don't even know what a VCR is, but when I found a bologna sandwich in my VCR, I was like, Carol, we got to get out of this house. I want my house back.
Mine was similar. When I found vomit in between the couch seat, when I tried to relax, I told her that was it. And she said, well, okay, if you don't like it, find me a place to go. And I said, okay, I will.
Yes.
So
how long did it take you to find that place, William? After she told you that? How long after she told you that?
I think it took us maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
And he agreed to sell us the property on July 3rd. And he wanted the money that next day. I said, well, heck, we can't do it the next day. That's the 4th of July. But within 5 days, it was a cash sale. We bought it lock, stock, and barrel within 5 days and closed. And from that point, it was a little house. It's roughly about 1,200 square feet in this house and in that house, but it's set on 1.5 acres. And I gutted the property and added on to it all at the same time. And only thing we kept was some hardwood floors that was in that particular house. Turned it into a nice size facility. And that facility, when we finished it, was 4,500 thereabout square feet. And we had, 5 classrooms? Or no, 6 classrooms. And it was a brand new building from the outside. And it's been really good, standing strong, and we made it what we wanted to make it. And I think she was very proud of it. Well, I was proud of it.
That's awesome. So, William, when you started out, when Carol first started her home daycare, I was doing my thing. I was in the Maine legislature at the time. So, she was doing her thing. I was doing mine. What were you doing? I know our careers are similar, our path. So tell us a little bit about what you were doing when she was doing the home daycare.
So back in college, I got commissioned as an officer in the United States Army. And so I was a reserve officer, and I traveled a great deal. And so I continued to do that. When I got to the point where I made major, I kind of got out of the military. But that was just that part-time job for me anyway. And then in the interim, I was an executive director for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I was managing the Farm Service Agency, and I had several counties in which I managed. And that was having me travel all over the area. And so as being a county executive, it really gave me a lot of experience on how to run businesses on the government side, and then working with acquisitions and munitions in the military gave me a lot of leadership experience, which I still use today.
So, William, how long after you started working together in the child care center that you started, were you able to quit working your other jobs?
Well, I had a turmoil ending with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. But right after that, I had a big settlement. I had a lawsuit against them, to be perfectly honest, and had a huge settlement. And so right during that time where we were doing childcare at the home, that last year, that fourth year, I was let go. And we took that time to recuperate, at least I did, and revamp and start our daycare, because like I said, I was just tired of it being in the home.
Yep. And you've been full-time ever since, working together as a team, side by side.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. That's a nice segue. So this is couples month, and we're putting the couples to the feet to the fire. So one of the questions we like to ask is, how do you haven't killed each other yet. You've been working together for quite a few years. So that's a good sign. So you figured out how to work together. How do you define your lanes of responsibility? And, Vaudrien, tell us if William's pretty good at staying in his lane. I think for the most part, guys tend to veer into the ladies' lane more. But I could be wrong. I think it goes both ways. But you can be honest. You're on camera here. Everything's being recorded.
Yes, we have had quite a challenge with the lanes initially. So initially, I would find that I would go and give, ask someone to do a particular task or whatnot, and then I'd turn around and say, "Why are you doing that?" "Oh, Mr. Ray said to do this." So we had those little, we had to have a meeting of the minds, and we said, "You know what, honey, you have a different way of doing things. I have a different way of doing things," and being a man, sometimes, this particular man, he is a fixer. And I think you mentioned that at one point, Brian. So he's a fixer. So if he thinks that if I'm a little frustrated with something, he'll go and try to just intercede and handle the problem, where I don't necessarily need it handled. Sometimes I just want it like the vent. And he's already changed something all around where it was like, okay, I'm a little griping to you about it, but I did want it to stay that way. So what we determined at the end is we have to have lanes. William wrote out, this was his idea, he wrote out a list of his duties. I wrote out a list of my duties. So everything in my lane, you need to come to me if you're going to interfere with something in this side of it, and I need to come to you if I'm going to interfere with something on this list over here. And if there's a point where someone approaches you with something on my list, you need to say, wait, I'm not, let me check with her, instead of just giving what you would do. And that has helped tremendously.
And that's not easily done.
Yeah. And William calls it the united front. It's almost the same as with our kids. We cannot disagree in front of employees. We can't have differing mindsets. We have to sometimes step away, hash it out among ourselves, and come back as the
united front.
United front.
Almost like parenting, right?
Just like parenting, yes.
Because employees will do that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll ask her a question knowing that that's nothing I would go along with.
I'm the softie, so they'll come and ask me certain,
Because I'll say no before I say yes anytime.
Yeah, we have the same issue with our employees, and it took us probably longer than you to get to where we had our good lanes, because we went through so many different things where we worked together, and then Brian pretty much ran it, and then I came back into it, and it was a little bit harder, and like you said, the employees do the same thing. They, not just with us, but like with our executive director, they'd go to them before they'd go to the director. And she'd have to say, have you talked to your director yet? So It's kind of the same, like a chain of command in the military.
Well, and that was my hardest part because I was accustomed to being in the middle or at the top of the chain and information flowed down. And I didn't like people to jump the chain. And if I gave a command, or a request, I should say. The military is a command. If I gave a command, you were to execute it. And it was hard for me to take my military hat off and put a daycare hat on. And it's just instinctive when you come from a military background to put out commands and know that it's done and walk away and then inspect a little bit later. But that was a hard thing for me to do in learning how to talk with, childcare is mostly female, and talk to people in a very nice and pleasing tone and flower everything up so it can come across nicely. And that's been a struggle for me, to put everything out nicely and just definitely stay in my lane and not fix things that she didn't want me to fix yet.
Job with that, handling that.
Right.
William and I are so much alike, and that's why I think that when I met you, I just gravitated and really liked you because there's so much in common. Carol and I are both military, and we started our first childcare 3 years after we got out. And it was that hard transition. And I went through a lot of directors because I expected so much and I didn't really always talk really nice. And thankfully, the job that we were both in was 85% women in the military. Very unusual. This happened to work out for me. And it was a win for me on multiple fronts. So I learned to have to deal with working in that majority women crowd, but they were military women. So you could order them and you talked a certain way. Even though I was softer, it was still harsh. And that did not transcend very well into the childcare that people can't quit the military. And so I had a steep learning curve too. And it wasn't fun. And it caused a lot of friction. Carol is a lot softer and a better leader than I was for the team. And she still is today. So my smartness was to keep my mouth shut and let her handle staffing because I still have issues to this day with not incompetence, well, some of that, but not listening and talking back. I don't like talking back or any kind of disrespect, you know. So I guess we're all evolving. You know, we never claim to be perfect. We're working. We're doing a perfect plan to work on getting perfect. Just never get that way. Anyway.
And it can interfere with your, with your relationship too. You don't want to bring those things home, but it is difficult the end of the day. And it's like, things didn't go quite right. And we had to get to the point where it's like, we don't want to come home and we're still asking questions about something that happened at school. And it's just kind of, at one point, I will say it's like the only conversations we had at home were about work. I mean, we just brought everything home every day. And
you brought everything.
Yes. And William said, you know what? we can talk about anything. We're just not going to talk about the school. And that. But
that's the first thing she'll ask me. She would ask, about this, that, and the other. And I would ignore her or not answer her questions. And that was a fight among itself. And that didn't go over too well. So I had to hide out sometimes.
Yeah, we definitely understand all that.
Oh, 100%.
So where do you see your business in 10 years?
Well, in 10 years, at that time, I'll be 65. So I don't look to be doing the kind of work that we're doing now. We're trying to fire ourselves. We are firing ourselves. And that's why we are trying to look for procedures and policies and SOPs so that we can put in place so that we don't have to be here. We hope to have at a minimum 6 centers. Yes. And the more the merrier. We have children that are involved in our business. We want them to be able to take it on and run with it and to have a good time doing it and have it where it's a lifestyle that they can learn and thrive in. But then also we want to have not just childcare, but other industries or businesses so that we can stay diversified and so that all the money is fluid. So if we have another COVID, we have something else to fall back on.
Yes.
I love that. Love that.
Mm.
So you have all this experience, and I didn't realize we were the same age, William. I thought you were a lot younger than I was. Um, what advice would you give for somebody who's struggling out there in their childcare business? I'd like to hear from both of you on this.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, if you don't mind me starting.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I've always felt that made our business work well is that you have to have the right people in the right seat. Meaning that if you're just a husband and wife or you have other people working, you have to have set roles and responsibilities, and just making sure that you have a really good team as well. Yeah. And that starts down with a good CPA, good people to help working on your buildings to make sure that everything runs smoothly in your buildings. All those things are key for me. So, but then too, the other thing that I notice is to have a good core of like-minded people working with you, either be other childcare owners, having good counseling. That's a good thing to have. Yes. So where you can go and get some good help and ideas that you're not really thinking of, and then go on to different conferences. Yes. That can give you the updated information, because you don't know everything. You got your head down to the ground working in your business with daycare every day. You don't get a chance to think about how to work on your business rather than work in your business. So if you're struggling, you need a good support team to help you.
Yeah, I do. Yes. Just, and always never stop learning. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. So you always have to continue with the, like you said, the conferences, trainings, webinars, coaching. All of those things play a part in you evolving and growing as a stronger business leader.
Correct.
So yes, seek help. And it could be anywhere, but yes, definitely if someone was struggling, that's what they would need to do.
And I think the big thing there is, like you said, seek help.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Correct.
Failure is not option.
Right. Exactly. If you don't mind sharing, what's one business goal you have for 2023?
Well, we're looking to open another center, either to acquire one or to build one from the ground up. I'm kind of on the mindset, I'd love to build one, because I look at this facility and I see some of the small and minor mistakes I made. I want to capitalize on it to make it more efficient. And just having to know some of the tendencies of parents, employees, and staff, knowing how to make their day a little easier and to make things run a little smoother. I want to play with that, and I want to build more centers. Yes. And to make them just unique and different than anybody else, really.
Yes, that's clearly our goal, definitely, to have attain another center. Yes.
That's awesome. I love that. I remember opening our second center, and it's challenging. The second center is the hardest center to open. It's a lot harder than the first, because you have to let go of number one. I've said it many times, and because you're usually number one is the baby who started it. So Vaudrien, it's your baby.
Yes.
And are you ready to let go of that a little bit to get number two?
That's tough, but I'm gonna have to be ready. That's right.
Well, we will help you every step of the way. And that segues nicely into my next question. So you recently joined our Childcare Genius University coaching program. And so what are you hoping to get out of coaching with Carol and I in the upcoming year?
Well, we are very, very excited to just be connected with people who've done what we are trying to do. That's the biggest thing. You all are just out amazing. So we want to get there at that point. And why make the mistakes that others have made when, there's clearly a path where we can have more guidance, instead of just kind of, doing it along the way as we've done for this one. That's what I would love to have that as our biggest goal with you all.
Love that. Anything to add, William?
Yeah, I just want to use every tool that you have in your toolbox. Use it more than once, and take it and make a toolbox for myself, so that when we go to that second, third, and fourth center, it's just like putting on a different hat and wearing it and running with it, and to meet more like-minded people and just try to make a stronger business for us, but then at the same time, helping someone else. if we possibly can, that is probably in our shoes currently and helping them move forward with your help. So we looking to use you guys every bit, you know, and pull as much information out of you as we can. And the group and the team that you have, we use everybody because everybody has different talents. We're trying to soak it up like a sponge.
100% right. You know, we don't claim to have all the answers on everything, but we put together a team of people to collectively do have all the answers. And that's the good part about our university coaching program is we have subject matter experts in many different areas, and the members themselves. We always have an answer and somewhere to help you in there. But all right, so starting to wrap up here, but I do have a question. So if you were to do this all over again from the beginning, what would you do differently? I didn't give you this question ahead of time because I want you to think.
No, I got this one on point. Wishing we would have met people like you earlier. That gives a 5-time guarantee on what it is, because if we spent the money on this coaching and you said, well, hey, we're going to make 5 times the money, I'm looking for that. I'm counting on it. And we just want to make our business profitable and just really strengthen up everything.
And I would say if we had to do it all over again, after meeting a lot of owners, I think what I would have done differently is we should have moved forward a little. We've been in business for 14 years. I feel that we should have moved forward maybe 6 years ago and pushing to get that second center. It just wasn't a priority for us. We got comfortable.
Yes.
And it was, you know, we didn't really want the burden of extra things to do. We were just happy with what we had. But now I see where we could have done so much more in this community, and we probably could have had 3 centers now in this area. There's definitely still a big need for childcare.
I'm not a big look back person because I don't like living the past. I'm a now person, not a future person now. But the reason I asked that question is to help somebody else who's sitting right now, who's maybe new in the business, to keep them from doing. That's the reason I ask. I don't like to have people look back. We're not going to look back anymore with That's you guys. Right. But that is a good question to help somebody else going forward. And thank you for being vulnerable and allowing us to put you on the spot with that question. So we'll go ahead and wrap up now.
So every week we ask a mindset question. What's your favorite relaxing activity to do as a couple?
So that would definitely be our Friday nights. It's our date night. We know we don't have to get up early the next morning if something goes, crazy at the school or anything like that. And it's just kind of the end of the week, relaxing. We normally have nothing planned, with any other organizations or anything. So Fridays it's our time. So once a week, we make sure that we'll go out to dinner or whatever it is, go out to a movie, just together time, just the 2 of us.
And William, that is great. What do you think that has done for your marriage and working together? And do you talk business on this date? Everybody wants to know.
Unfortunately, we can't keep that off of
We try not to. We're better. He's probably going to say not, but we are much better at staying off of that topic. But I'm going to let him answer.
I try to plan the whole day. And the only thing I will ask her is where she would like to eat. And I would guide the conversation from that point and trying to change the subject if she were to bring up daycare. And if she does have it on her mind, just let her release it, get it out of the way, and give her some nice wine to drink.
I need it by then, I guess.
But yeah, that works for us. Just that date night so we can relax, relate, and release and rekindle our lives and our relationship.
Well, you want to talk a little bit of business because you want to be able to write it off on your taxes. You should be write off every one of these meals there, William. It's a corporate board meeting every Friday. Well, anyway, it was so nice having you on our podcast, and we know you have helped countless people help with their business and their struggles and moving ahead. And we look forward to working with you over the next year. We cannot wait to see you guys again. We're together with you guys last month in Utah, and just can't wait to hang out with you guys again and get to know you guys better. And have a good rest of your day. Enjoy that 73 degrees. Oh my God, wouldn't that be sweet? And have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you
Have
so
a
much.
wonderful day.
You too.
I always love talking to them.
Yeah, they're great. And with William's military background, I think when we were introduced to them, we just gravitated toward them. We have a lot in common. Our business, our paths are very similar, and the home daycare story was right in line with that. He made me laugh and made me flash back to the VCR days. And I know you love getting to know Vaudrien. She's really sweet, and we can't wait to go down to Charleston, South Carolina, and go down and visit them.
Yeah, let's visit soon. It's a lot warmer down there.
Oh, that's for darn sure. A lot warmer than Maine. So if you need help in your childcare business and you'd like a free coaching call with me to help you in any area of your business that you're struggling with, visit our website at childcaregenius.com. And under the coaching tab, select a free coaching call button. You're guaranteed to come away with 2 or 3 items that you could take action on right away to help you where you're struggling. So we want to leave you with a few thoughts today. Are you struggling working with your spouse or business partner?
Are you arguing over the silliest things?
We used to argue over silly things, didn't we? Are you having problems staying in your lane or even establishing them?
Email us at info@childcaregenius.com. We can help you.
Yeah, we've worked with hundreds of couples over the years successfully, and we can help you too. So this concludes episode 25 of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend a little bit of time with us.
And just a reminder to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.